In this video, I'm going to show you how to construct lines of minimum and maximum slope using Microsoft Excel. To start, I'm going to use some sample data, and I've already constructed a graph for that sample data. Now, in order to use lines of maximum and minimum slope, you need a linear graph, of course. So if your data does not reflect a linear trend, you might want to look into how to linearize your data. Let's start with the line of maximum slope, and we're going to use the error bars to construct this line. Now, the steepest line that we can create connects the upper boundary of the first data point and the lower boundary of the last data point. So I'm going to create a new column to put those coordinates in, and I'm going to label the column maximum slope. So again, we need the upper boundary of the first data point. So I'm going to use the average plus the error bar. And for the second point, I'm going to use the lower boundary. So I'm going to use the average minus the error bar. And that should give us 2 points to make a line. Now to construct the line, I'm going to right-click on my data series and click on Select Data. This allows me to add a new data set. And I'm going to label this data set Maximum Slope to remind myself. Now the X values that I'm going to use are the same as the original data series. But the Y values that I'm going to use are those 2 points that we just calculated. Click OK. And there are the 2 points that we want to connect. So I'm going to right-click on that and add a trend line. And there's our line of maximum slope. So obviously you can improve the aesthetics of this a little bit by extending that line forwards and backwards to match your best fit line. You can also change the colors. I like to use just a normal black for the best fit line and a colored dotted line for my lines of maximum and minimum slope. The procedure for the line of minimum slope is similar, and we're going to use the lower boundary of our first data point, again creating a new column, but this time I'm going to use the average minus the error bar, and for my second data point I'm going to use the upper boundary of the last data point. That's the least steep line that we can create using our error bars. So that would be the average plus the error bar. And so it's the same procedure. Right-click on your data series, select data, add a new data set, label it minimum slope, and the X values are still going to be the same as all the other data points. But for our Y values, we're going to use those 2 new coordinates that we just calculated. Again, click OK, and those 2 points should show up. If you right-click on those, you can also maybe change how large they are so they don't appear on your graph. That's really a personal preference, but the more important thing is to add a trend line that connects those 2 points together. And again, you might want to color code that and use a different color. Again, you should probably extend that line forwards and backwards so that it fills up your entire chart area. And now you can also display the equations for those 3 different lines. And you can label those equations as maximum slope, minimum slope, and best fit line. Now you must be wondering at this point, what is the purpose of having a line of maximum and minimum slope? Well, if your slope is supposed to signify a particular constant, for a relationship. Say, for example, your slope is supposed to represent acceleration due to gravity. Well, it's all well and good that you're able to determine a value for acceleration due to gravity using your data, but it's probably also helpful to report that value as being within a range of possible values. So just as you have uncertainties and errors in every data point, you should also probably have uncertainties and errors in your final result. So you can do this by propagating uncertainties, but you can also do it graphically by creating lines of maximum and minimum slope. So for this particular data set, we can now say that the slope is negative 0.63, but really it can fall within the range of negative 0.46 to negative 0.82. So I hope this video was helpful. Keep checking my channel for new videos on how to use Microsoft Excel.